And we're going to talk about the game, let's say it at the same time, Red Dead Redemption. Red Dead Redemption is the spiritual successor, which basically means sequel without any narrative connection, to the 2004 game Red Dead Revolver.
The game was developed by Rockstar San Diego and was published by Rockstar and distributed by Take-Two Interactive. It was released in North America on May 18th, 2010 for the PlayStation 3, the Xbox 360.
So basically, Red Dead Redemption is a sandbox/open world action-adventure third-person shooter heavily inspired by Western, as in spaghetti Western, films and literature. And that's really important because nearly everything in this game, from the story, environment, and mechanics, are designed to build and replicate an authentic homage or new reiteration of this beloved classic genre of Western culture. Red Dead Redemption takes place in a fictitious Western United States and northern Mexico in the year 1911 during the waning years of the Wild Wild West.
You play as John Marston, former outlaw, as he journeys to reunite with his family after being forced into rounding up his old gang by a corrupt member of the FBI.
This narrative is filled with a lot of compelling themes that are classic to the Western genre, primarily revenge, redemption, and doing what's right no matter what the cost. This plot, especially the narrative kernels, are pushed forward through cutscenes. Cutscenes are generally seen by a lot of people to be jarring and to take you out of the gameplay, but due to the fact that Red Dead Redemption is in fact an homage to Western films, and due to Rockstar's classic cinema cutscenes, they really help to bring the character in and immerse them in the game that much more.
The story is wrought with classic Western character tropes.
From the player playing John Marston, the former outlaw turned good who gets sucked back into the life of violence to protect his family,
to the G-Man FBI agent only looking to get ahead, no matter the cost.
As well as a memorable secondary cast from the alcoholic Irish arms dealer,
the crazed grave-robbing treasure hunter,
to the snake oil salesman conning everybody,
to the suave and sexy Mexican rebel leader,
to the Mexican dictator he's trying to overthrow, to the former gunslinger who shows you the way. All of these characters add to this rich environment, which is key to experiencing the immersive narrative. Speaking of environment, that's one of the other defining factors that really makes Red Dead Redemption the game that it is. The physical game space is quite impressive. It's picturesque and expansive, ranging from small towns and saloons to reaching deserts and massive plateaus, and it successfully invites the player to explore and ultimately immerse themselves in the game world and the story.
Rockstar employs their classic soft boundary map mechanic as John travels south to Mexico. They reward the player with new explorable terrain which nearly doubles the map in size.
And within this game space, along with the characters and towns that inhabit it, there's a multitude of plants that John can harvest, as well as wild animals that he can interact with, ranging from wild horses that he can tame and eventually ride, as well as bears or other animals you can hunt and turn into pelts, making the game space feel that much more alive and wild as the Wild West would have actually been.
In addition to the game space, the incredible voice acting and dialogue, both in and out of cutscenes, allow for an incredibly immersive Western environment.
In addition to these other cinematic aspects of the game, Red Dead Redemption's sound effects, and especially soundtrack, makes the player feel like they're in a real-life Western film. Last but not least, what ultimately makes Red Dead Redemption so awesome and fun to play is the gameplay and mechanics.
The main modes of transportation in Red Dead Redemption are either on foot or on horseback. This allows players to further explore the expansive game world, and in regards to narrative, players are able to unlock and ride new and better horses as the story develops.
The secondary form of travel, which is universally known in games as fast travel, is also present in Red Dead Redemption. It is implemented through the player riding on a horse-drawn carriage. By doing this, the developers have made sure that the diegetic world is continuous and cohesive even when the gameplay is not.
Another gameplay mechanic is the morality system.
By committing acts deemed either good or evil within the game system, such as killing an innocent NPC for no reason, John is able to either increase or decrease his honor level.
High honor can get you discounts in some towns, and low honor will strike fear into the hearts of the NPCs, both of which can be used strategically to your advantage.
The morality system effectively and intrinsically ties the narrative's central theme, doing right or wrong, into every moment of gameplay.
Another mechanic in the game that keeps your morality in check is the wanted level system. As you commit crimes, your wanted level and bounty goes up. There's a few different ways to reduce your bounty, such as eliminating the witnesses of the crime or escaping from the police. The wanted system can be fun to play around with, as well as establishing a system of rules and consequences within the game for the player to follow or disobey.
In addition to the main story missions, Red Dead Redemption also offers a number of side quests and mini-games, which offer a variety of new game mechanics. These include, but are not limited to, dueling, being a bounty hunter, poker in saloons, five-finger fillet, hunting wild game, and taming horses.
As well as presenting new forms of gameplay, rewards, and customization for the player to explore, and through their incremental presentation within and alongside the necessary story missions, these side quests, minigames, and new forms of gameplay mechanics completely immerse the player in the continually developing world of Red Dead Redemption.
Finally, and arguably the most awesome part of Red Dead Redemption, is the Deadeye aiming system. Deadeye allows the player to slow down time and pinpoint where they want their bullets to fall. When Deadeye ends, John unleashes a barrage of bullets that eviscerates his opponents.
Deadeye is an awesome game mechanic because it's fun and embodies the fastest gun in the West through gameplay. Warning, spoilers ahead, we're now going to discuss the awesome ending.
After helping the FBI either capture or kill all your former gang members, John is once again reunited with his family, and right when you think the story is drawing to a close, who comes over the hill but the FBI?
After rushing his family out of the back of the barn to safety, John prepares for what is sure to be one of the most epic and awesome shootouts in video game history.
You as the player exit the barn and are immediately entered into Deadeye mode.
The player's instincts, developed throughout the game, instantly kick in, and you begin targeting as many of the FBI agents as possible.
However, it quickly becomes apparent that there is no way John will win this fight.
The physical and emotional affect that occurs as you instantly realize that the story's expectations, as well as your gameplay instincts betray you, is incredibly jarring.
This boss battle, which proves to be ultimately futile, ties in environment, gameplay mechanics, and narrative into one of the most heart-wrenching character deaths in video game history.
The game ends with you 3 years later playing as Jack, John Marston's son, avenging his father's death and continuing to explore the open world.
It not only allows for the death of the main character, but it also allows for the further exploration of the game world and serves as a very powerful game mechanic.
Not only is this one of the most heart-wrenching endings to a game, but it's also one of the most clever ones.
All in all, we love Red Dead Redemption. We found that this is one of our all-time favorite games, and we would be willing to play it again.